The Virgo new moon at 0 degrees of Virgo is conjunct the royal star Leo-Regulus at 0 degree of Virgo. So this is an exact match and alignment with this beautiful royal star that is so powerful. The ruler of this new moon is Mercury, and Mercury is now at 12 degrees 33 minutes in Leo, square the constellation of Crux and the fixed star Acrux at 12 degrees of Scorpio. This Virgo new moon is very earthy. It has to do with embodiment and showing us what our true abilities and gifts and talents are. This Earth is calling us at this Virgo new moon to start something completely new or go deeper with insights that our soul is urging us to come in contact with. Welcome to New Light Living Podcast. I'm Ulrika Sullivan. I'm an intuitive spiritual life coach and a galactic astrologer. This video is a galactic astrology reading of the Virgo new moon at 0 degrees 23 minutes on August 23rd, 2025. Welcome. What I do in these videos, I put an outer layer of fixed stars, celestial bodies, and galactic points to the traditional Western tropical astrology wheel. And that is to help us expand into our multidimensional self, get to know more about our soul's rich journey at the galactic level, and also expand our perspective of who we truly are. So welcome to this video. What you'll receive in this video are 3 galactic energetic themes that I've pulled out from the new moon chart, and also 3 questions at the end should you want to integrate this new moon in Virgo energy some more. At this Virgo new moon, there are many synchronicities going on, many doors opening, and it's all for us to go deeper with our embodiment of who we truly are. Mother Earth is a teacher, and especially at this Virgo new moon, we have Earth showing us the way, being the way shower for a life that is more embodied. Earth is asking us to wake up to our own abilities, but also the connection to our Earth as a vessel for a flow of universal energy. This Virgo new moon has an element of fire in its energy signature, and that symbolizes the fire within that we need to connect with to truly embody who we truly are in our full glory. And what that means at this Virgo new moon is that we have to face ourselves in a very real way. And Virgo is a very embodiment, earthy sign. So this may also show up in the physical world. And it will look different for each one of us, but be ready for some changes. We are invited to go deeper with ourselves and find out what we belong to. We are asked to remember our ancient wisdom that we came here to share. In this Virgo new moon at 0 degree of Virgo conjunct, royal star Leo-Regulus is a signature of sovereignty, of power, of embodiment, and we can't miss it. Mercury in square with Acrux is an expansion of our inner conversation, and we'll talk more about this in Energetic Theme 1 coming up. The new moon is also in a very powerful square with Uranus conjunct the Pleiades, and we'll talk much more about Mercury and the new moon in Energetic Theme 1 coming up soon. Are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments reference guide. There's a link in the pinned comment and description box below. Before we go into the new moon chart, I'd like to share what the energetic themes are. The first theme I've called Heart Expansion Initiation, and that's the title of this video. It is a powerful new moon conjunct Leo-Regulus, and we're going to talk more about Leo-Regulus as an energetic signature at this new moon in Energetic Theme 1 coming up. The second theme is Past Gifts Return. And here we're going to talk about Eridanus-Archenar conjunct the North Node and also asteroid Karma conjunct the South Node. The third theme is new spiritual technology. And here we're going to talk about Venus now in a powerful conjunction with Canis Minor-Procyon. And that is what we're going to focus on in energetic theme 3. And if you like my videos, subscribe to my channel, like the video, and also share with your friends. And if you want more in-depth videos, for every new moon and full moon video, I release a members only video. And if you want more content, deeper content, and work more with the questions, you are invited to join our membership here on this channel. And if you're curious, click on the link in the pinned comment and description box and you'll be shown an introduction video. For those of you who have already downloaded the Galactic Alignments Reference Guide, I have now released additional instruction videos on how to use the guide, but also how to interpret the galactic alignments that you can find in your chart. And if you're curious about this new offering, click on the pinned comment or the description box and you'll find a link. This Virgo new moon has a close connection to Earth as a planet. And the rumblings of Earth that we are now shown as Earth is showing us the way forward and changes that we have to make to embody our full potential. And this is not just at the individual level, but also at the collective level. So a lot of physical expression of inner passion, both from the Earth perspective, but also inside us, is likely to be expressed in and around of this Virgo new moon. Planet Earth is showing us how it is to live our life force. And we can take notice and listen to Mother Earth a little extra around this Virgo new moon, because it is a heart expansion, initiation, and new beginning taking place. So here we have the new moon chart. And as you notice, the sun and the moon are together there at 0 degree of Virgo. So the ruler Mercury here is behind the new moon in the chart here in Leo at 12 degrees and 33 minutes. And we can also see the powerful square there from the new moon to Uranus, conjunct Pleiades, and dwarf planet Sedna there at 1 degree of Gemini. And this is a significant opportunity for expansion at this time. Uranus conjunct Sedna, first of all, is also a way shower, a galactic awakening type of energy. And in conjunction with Pleiades, it's opening up us as a vessel for channeling. It's opening up us to consider other types of communication than just maybe verbal. This long-term conjunction between Sedna, Uranus, and the Pleiades star cluster is a signature of the time we're living in. The energy signature of this is an increased level of co-creation with the unseen and communication with our guides, our councils that we are part of at the soul level. This square is a call to expand further into the awareness of this type of co-creation. And Sedna, in many ways, is that dolphin energy, the water, the intuitive water energy, but also the high frequency type of connection that may be dormant within us to be able to communicate at higher frequencies and higher consciousness. And highlighted at the new moon here, we are also called to embody that energy. Virgo, the sign of Virgo, is very much the embodiment of the healing powers of Earth in many ways. And from a rulership perspective, Mercury there in Leo is in square with Acrux, which is the cosmic navigator, the Southern Cross. This square is linking the element of fire, where Mercury is in now direct, with the water element of Scorpio. And here we also are asked by Mercury to go deeper with our inner insights about our abilities and talents and ways we are desiring to express ourselves. Acrux is at 12 degrees of Scorpio. So this new moon in Virgo is very expansive due to these two squares. but it's also speaking to the harmony that we are invited to seek, because all of the 4 elements here are involved in these squares. Virgo as an earth element, Mercury in Leo, which is a fire element, Sedna and Uranus, Pleiades there in the air element, and also a crux there in Scorpio, which is the water element. So we are going to talk more about Leo-Regulus conjunct the new moon in the first energetic theme coming up next. But here I'd like to highlight a crux, and the square to the ruler Mercury here in Leo. And a crux is known in myth to be a cosmic navigator. Often the constellation of Crux is visible by the naked eye in the southern hemisphere certain times of the year, and it's very much used for navigation at sea. And a crux is also said to be harboring or hosting lots of different life forms connected particularly to water. And the water element is the intuitive element. So here we are invited to expand our ways of communicating, the square to Mercury there in Leo, but it comes from within. The sign of Leo is connected to heart energy. So here we're invited to go within and really find out and discover what we are passionate about. And there's more in this chart, this Virgo New Moon chart, that speaks to this commitment to inner passion. And we'll get to that later in the video. But I wanted to highlight here this square to a crux, which is also an energy of way showing, navigating type of, which is also a strong navigator for the times we're in. All right, are you ready for the first energetic theme that I called Heart Expansion Initiation next? So here we have the first theme that I called Heart Expansion Initiation. And it's not that surprising that we have a big initiation at this Virgo new moon because of this highlight and focus through this yod on the new moon itself, conjunct Leo-Regulus. And all in the very early degrees of the sign of Aries, Aquarius, and Virgo, respectively. So everything that we've talked about in the past with Neptune and Saturn still in retrograde here at 0 and 1 degree of Aries conjunct Pegasus sheath, the winged horse, the sign archetypal energy of liberation and freedom. And with Neptune and Saturn still in retrograde here, it's that inner liberation, self-liberation, if you will, that is accentuated. And we also have Pluto in the first degree, almost 2 degrees now, of Aquarius conjunct still Aquila Altair. Pluto is also in retrograde, and also Aquila Altair speaks to that bigger vision that we all come in with here. Our soul's journey is vast, and the more we connect with the understanding of what our soul's journey and the soul experiences associated perhaps through galactic soul incarnations that we have had individually, but also in collective soul groups, we can also begin to expand our own multidimensional perspective. And Aquila Altair is that eagle's view, right? Very high, big perspective. And with those 2 foundations, we point out the Virgo new moon here, conjunct Leo-Regulus. And Leo-Regulus is the heart of the lion, the heart energy that we're now expanding. There's a new initiation at this new moon with regards to heart frequency. But no expansion without some ask to go outside the comfort zone, right? This T-square includes the square we talked about earlier here between new moon and Uranus Sedna Pleiades. But on the other side, we have true Lilith there, conjunct now Centaurus Alpha Centauri at 28 degrees of Scorpio. And true Lilith is at 27 degrees of Scorpio. So there is a process here as true Lilith also moves into the early degrees of Sagittarius. There is a process here to go beyond the comfort zone And true Lilith conjunct Alpha Centauri now is that unrestricted sense of divinity, the higher consciousness that we can access if we are stepping away from our own limitations, because often we are standing in front of our own potential. And true Lilith here is inviting us to remove some of those limitations or see through them and actually go and connect with higher consciousness. And in opposition to Uranus and Sedna and Pleiades there, we could hypothesize that it's a lot of guides that are waiting for us to connect with them. And now at this Virgo new moon, it's a prime time to welcome guidance in, but also to expand into having a conversation with our guides, a co-creation environment. And all of this is happening through the heart. So if you notice here, the absolute focus on that 0 degree of Virgo and the new moon here speaks for itself. There's a lot of alignments here that are meant to happen at this time. So look for those synchronicities and signs at this time because they're all lined up. But there's more to this story. We also have an additional foundational energy, a way-showing energy in form of Haumea, still conjunct Shapley attractor there at 2 degrees of Scorpio, and Haumea is at 1 degree still of Scorpio. And the yod that this new moon is initiating with a peak, a point to Neptune and Saturn in Aries there. So this is also an additional connector that Haumea and Shapley attractor are doing. Haumea is that integrated unity consciousness that we are bringing in from a multidimensional, multiverse perspective to support this inner self-liberation Pegasus sheet there. And as you can see here, there's also a yod forming between Uranus, Sedna, Pleiades there as one leg, and Saturn and Neptune, Pegasus sheet, as one leg, pointing to back to Haumea and Shapley attractor. So this is a very an energy in the very early degrees, and it's all initiated at this Virgo new moon by the new moon itself and Leo-Regulus involved. So it is not a coincidence that Leo-Regulus is so prominently highlighted at this Virgo new moon. This is something we are asked to pay attention to because planet Earth is involved in way showing us forward. And it's through our alignment with heart frequency and Mother Earth's own frequency, because we also have a second new moon in Virgo on September 21st. And that is going to be a powerful, powerful signature highlight on the sign of Virgo. And that second new moon is a solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Virgo. So we're highlighting here a cycle, 0 degree of Virgo and 29 degree of Virgo. It's a cycle, a beginning and an end and a beginning. And this energy signature speaks of self-empowerment, self-liberation, finding that inner strength. So here I want to show you the constellation of Leo, and Regulus there is placed in the front leg, in the front paw of that lion. So it is about taking a step forward, moving into the next level with strength, with inner empowerment. And also here, you can tune into the fixed star Regulus there at the bottom, but also the beautiful images here of expressions of inner strength and courage. The fixed star Leo-Regulus is also associated with divine leadership, and also the sun itself. Leo is the sun. It's a very strong expression. So this is about shining from within, shining with authority and our inner uniqueness. So this is really all attributes for us to embrace and allow ourselves to step one step further on our path in terms of self-empowerment. This is a powerful, powerful step through a portal of courage, of protection, of the sun is shining in our faces at this Virgo new moon. So we are asked to stay grounded and connect with the earth element even deeper, because we are also walking a path, a journey during this time between August 23rd and September 21st, where we have that second new moon solar eclipse at 29 degrees of Virgo. And during this period of time, we will likely see an increased engagement of Earth events, but also in our collective, perhaps see expressions of leadership, either successful or not so successful leadership, because we also have an element of karmic release as part of this new moon in Virgo. And we are going to talk about asteroid karma's position here and role at this Virgo new moon in the next energetic theme. So let's take a look at that. The second energetic theme I've called Past Gifts Return. So here we have the second theme that I've called Past Gifts Return. And here in this energetic theme, the nodal axis is highlighted. And as you may notice here, the north node there at 18 degrees of Pisces is conjunct Eridanus-Archenar at 15 degrees of Pisces. And of course, on the opposite there is the south node at 18 degrees of Virgo conjunct the asteroid Karma at 19 degrees of Virgo. So I'm going to walk you through what I see here. The nodal axis is still working with the integration and anchoring, the intersection between earth and spirit. Pisces and Virgo, it's really that bridge that we are here to expand upon and integrate our spirit self here on earth in a deeper way and opening up to our multidimensional self, Pisces. Eridanus-Archenar is very much an energy signature associated with spiritual power, spiritual awakening, but also the possibility of an expanded spiritual perspective and what that can do to our earthly experience here. Asteroid Karma, as the asteroid placements here are moving around the zodiac wheel and now is in conjunction with the south node. This conjunction between the south node and asteroid Karma is always an important marker for a release of some sort. And the south node is harboring so much wisdom and so much familiar experience that we now are in a position to take and learn from and use in a productive way, to use in a higher consciousness way. And the nodal axis is still working with our mental domain, the second decan between 10 and 19 degrees of each of the respective signs. So this speaks to that there's our mental loops that may have been created by past life karma, let's say, or ancestral karma is now due to be activated and released and perhaps understood from a different perspective. There is always an opportunity to transmute lower frequency energy to higher frequency energy. And I sense that this is an opportunity that we have at the individual level at this Virgo new moon, but also at the collective level, to support this past gifts return, which is likely the outcome of releasing limitations that we may have placed on ourselves at the soul level. And releasing some of that now is supported by this kite in the chart. And let me walk you through what I see here. I should also say that the members only video associated with the Virgo new moon will dive deeper into this ancient wisdom and the release and connection that we can make with those ancient gifts and talents. So if you're curious to join us for that video, go to the pinned comment or the description box below and join us there. This return of gifts and talents and the release of some of the limitations that we may have placed on ourselves, supported by this nodal axis focus, but also this asteroid karma conjunction to the south node at this new moon. We also have a sextile between the south node karma and Jupiter at 16 degrees of Cancer. Now, Jupiter will proceed to 18 degrees, so 2 more degrees by September 2nd. And also the south node is moving in reverse, right? So it will be an exact sextile with Jupiter there around September 2nd. Jupiter is still conjunct Sirius A there in the Canis major constellation. And this is an expansion of wisdom. Sirius A is known for its association to wisdom keeping. And Jupiter conjunct here is pure expansion of the awareness of such. And on the other side of this kite sits now Juno and Vesta asteroids at 20 degrees of Scorpio. So this energy signature is associated with our commitment to our inner passion, our inner glow. So this is accentuated at this Virgo new moon by both of them in conjunction here at 20 degrees of Scorpio, highlighting this kite with the importance of committing to our inner passions. And that may support this release of deep, deep ancient wisdom and past gifts that we are now invited to reconnect with. Eridanus-Archenar conjunct the north node here, which is really at the bottom of the kite, but is fueling this spiritual expansion. And Eridanus is the river, and the flow that we are invited to align with, or is at the bottom there of the constellation on the sky map here. But it's also linked into very close at the top there to the Orion constellation and Orion Regal. And it flows like a river. Symbolically, it may invite us to take this spiritual awakening, this spiritual expansion, this heart frequency expansion at this time with as much flow as we can. And that may be the key to align with this ancient wisdom, the gifts that we are meant to connect with at this Virgo new moon and around here. And in this portal between August 23rd and September 21st. So take that for what that could mean for you. How can you follow your flow in a different way to open up to this opportunity? So yes, how can your direction, your north node type of energy in spirit of expansion here, support your going deeper with connecting with past talents and gifts that are now ready to be unearthed within you, and do that with as much flow, integration with Earth's movement and flow and rhythm as much as possible. And it may be also an insight that is emerging within you that you don't really have to do much. We're often living under the perception that we have to do so much to achieve something. This is the signature of this Virgo new moon is actually to take a step back and use more rest, use more contemplation to open up to different layers within ourselves. Because in the next energetic theme, New Spiritual Technology, we're going to take a look at Venus and her conjunction to Canis Minor-Procyon. Venus is still very prominent, leading us towards integration of increased higher consciousness and divine feminine energy. So let's take a look at that energetic theme next. So here we have the third energetic theme that I called New Spiritual Technology. And that is purely because of this beautiful conjunction between Venus at 27 degrees of Cancer, conjunct Canis Minor-Procyon at 26 degrees of Cancer now. And also, of course, again, considering Jupiter's conjunction to Sirius A that we talked about earlier. And this emphasis on the sign of Cancer here with both Jupiter and Venus in prominent alignments, galactic alignments, we notice a grand water trine here with Pegasus sheet at 29 degrees of Pisces, and also with true Lilith conjunct Alpha Centauri there at 28 and 27 degrees of Scorpio. This is forming the influence and emphasis on the divine feminine elements of water, of intuition, of flow, if you will. So this grand trine here is also supporting that liberation, that connection with our own intuitive abilities, but also the new technology, what I call spiritual technology through Venus's conjunction to Procyon. And we're going to dive a little deeper into this. And of course, we also have a T-square associated with Venus's placements here. And I'll show you and I'll walk you through this T-square. So Venus is in square with Chiron in retrograde now at 26 degrees, 55 minutes. Still conjunct Andromeda Galaxy at 28 degrees of Aries there. And in opposition, Chiron in opposition to Booth's Actress at 24 degrees of Libra. And this forms the T-square with Venus here, conjunct Canis Minor-Procyon. So yes, this is a interpretation and continuation of Chiron's message from last video. We are here to unearth our past struggles and our pains, to turn that into potential. And it has a bigger meaning than just our existence here on Earth. Andromeda Galaxy in conjunction with Chiron there in retrograde is inviting us to that bigger perspective, that multidimensional perspective. And Booth's Actress is that association with a higher consciousness, a higher frequency of living that we are invited to embrace. Actress is very much a guiding energy for entire planet Earth at this time. And those two energetic influences in T-square with Venus conjunct Canis Minor-Procyon is our own transmutation, alchemization of our own spiritual energy and ways we are connecting. This will be different for everyone. We all have a way of alchemizing spiritual energy within us. For some, it may be the clairs in terms of our intuitive abilities. For some, it's how we put things together in the physical world, the innovative parts of us that can invent things, look at things in a different way, combine things in new ways that haven't been done before. For example, spiritual technology can be the merge between science and spirituality, and how we do that in healing, for example, as well. So these are just examples of what Canis Minor-Procyon influence with Venus there now is supporting and is supporting us with at this time, at this Virgo New Moon. So putting these two energy signatures together, we have an immense focus at this new moon on Venus conjunct Canis Minor-Procyon. And I also want to highlight that Jupiter will station retrograde on November 12th, conjunct Canis Minor-Procyon. So we will have a second punch of this message around mid-November timeframe, because Jupiter will be there to expand this whole thing. And Venus's significant influence and guidance here of our overall spiritual awakening and spiritual evolution, both collectively but also individually. This Virgo New Moon is focusing on the divine feminine parts of ourselves, the intuition, the flow, for example. And Jupiter come November 12th is going to come and expand it even further. So here you can tune into Canis Minor-Procyon here, both as a star and also the location on the star map here. And for you, what does this new spiritual technology mean for you? How do you connect with new perspectives, things you may get into and be curious about and go down the rabbit hole studying, for example, at this time? It may be something completely new that you are getting contact with. And the more we are not holding back and questioning that, the better, because this Virgo new moon is a new initiation of something. So yes, you can tell I'm excited about this Virgo new moon, and not only because my sun sign is Virgo. It's always a great time around this August timeframe, early September, mid-September, to come back to our routines. And we are now asked also to incorporate a deeper self-empowering routine in our daily lives. And I love that this Virgo new moon is conjunct Leo-Regulus, which is speaking to self-empowerment, self-sovereignty, the courage it takes to be who you are. And it's an immense amount of opportunity for many of us to expand our heart frequency and the courage and the joy that comes with that. And if you like my videos, subscribe to my channel, like the video, and also share with your friends. Moon energy some more. I have 3 questions for you. The first question is, what is this heart expansion about for you? And often we try to use our mind to figure things out, but we are now invited at this Virgo new moon to particularly focus on our heart. And that cannot be figured out. It can be tuned into. So my question is, how are you tuning into and listening to that new beginning, whatever it's that's starting for you right now at this Virgo new moon? And sometimes it is a feeling, a sense, because our soul already knows the direction we're going. So sometimes it's about allowing ourselves to listen to that, because it cannot be figured out with the mind. I hope I'm giving you some inspiration here to listen rather than trying to figure out at this new moon. The second question is, what are you learning about yourself and your deepening in terms of where you belong? Because this Virgo new moon is very much to help us refine, like, what is for us and what is not for us. And often when we are expanding, we also notice that some things are no longer for us, but some new things are. So this, and what I'm alluding to is very much Juno and Vesta's influence, and also Jupiter's influence on this nodal axis Kite. At the top is where karma is conjunct the south node at the top of the Kite. This is also about belonging and how we can release some of the perceived limitations that we may have put on ourselves at this time. So what does this mean for you? The third question is related to Canis Minor-Procyon and new spiritual technology. So what new ways are you incorporating, whether it's daily routines or interests that you want to dive deeper with? How can those support your intuitive way of living? How can those new approaches support you in a more heart-centered, intuitive way of living, moving forward? So that's a lot to work with. And I am more than happy to support you on this journey. So if you're curious, check out my website, ulrikasullivan.com. I have a few offerings there, both readings and coaching, online offers, and I invite you to explore all of that. Are you curious about your own galactic alignments? Download my Galactic Alignments Reference Guide. There's a link in the pinned comment and description box below. And next, I'm going to dive into the creation of our next members-only video that I've called Ancient Wisdom Release. So I can't wait to see you inside the membership. Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. I love doing these videos for you, and I can't wait to be back with another video soon. Bye.